Cool. All right, everybody, what's up? My name's Nathan Payne. I'm a student of Jerry Norton's. I signed up for his coaching like maybe a year or two ago. I had already been wholesaling, but I wanted to, hit up Jerry. I thought he was a great guy. I liked his videos. So, we've developed a cool relationship. He's a great guy. He's really helped us in our business. To explain what I do, I have a whole nationwide wholesaling business that does deals in every state. Um, I have uh, two leads managers. One of the leads managers is actually Jerry's son, Jared Norton. He's a pretty cool guy. So we have two leads managers that filter the deals. I have two acquisitions people. They're in the other room, and I actually do deals too, because when I'm not busy, creating content, making, doing deals, I can hop into acquisitions and close some deals. But so two acquisition guys. Then once we get the deals locked up under contract, we send in a dispo. This is the dispo office, but my two dispo guys are sick today, so they're working at home. And then I have a business partner. So I have about 6 or 7 people that work for me. And then there's a couple of virtual assistants, cold callers. So just to give you guys a review, understanding like why, like who am I, or do I even know what I'm talking about? I'm running a business. We do like 4 to 6 deals a month. Obviously we're just trying to get more deals. We're trying to get more deals, get up to like 10 to 20. But wholesaling's a beast. I mean, it's a lot of work, and I'm in the trenches with you guys. I call sellers every day, make offers every day. So that's who I am. If you have any questions about that, you can ask me on this call. I'm here as a resource to help you guys out. Usually on calls like this, if a lot of people don't have questions, I can just look at specific deals that you have and help you underwrite them, or tell you how to talk to the seller, what price you need to be at. I can do a lot to help you guys out. So that's who I am. Nice to meet all of you. I don't know all of you, but if you want to get a hold of me, I can put my Facebook in my Facebook link in the chat, so you guys can reach out, DM me. If you want that list of potential hard money lenders and private money people that we've been talking about earlier before I introduced myself, message me on Facebook Messenger on Facebook, and I'll send it to you. So let me put my Facebook thing in here. All right, so we can go back to answering your question. It was Devin, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So let's go back. I just wanted to give everybody a quick intro to who I was and how they could get a hold of me if they need me. But let's go back. What were you asking so we can answer that question?
So if there's like formal ways that, we can find private money lenders, and I understand hard money lenders are just people who do it as a business, and those are easier to find, Kivia and all that other stuff. But like private money lenders, they're more like you have to seek them out. And of course, I know like things such as going on Bigger Pockets forums, or, posting on Facebook groups and such. But I'm just curious if there's any other ways that people go about finding private money lenders, and of course, REIA meetings and things like that. But,
Yeah. So you're asking me what my opinion is on how to raise private money?
Yeah.
So let me tell you what Jerry taught me, and what through his courses, and like what I've been doing is people will lend you money if they think you're private money, that they feel like you're competent, like if they feel like their money's safe with you. For example, I didn't know my grandparents had a lot of money. Like I don't talk to them about money. They're pretty humble people. But I told them about a deal I was doing, and I was like, hey, I'm looking for money, looking to raise money. I've already raised 80%. I told them I've already raised 80%. I'm only looking for 20% for the down payment. And I need $60,000. And they're like, oh, we have $60,000 in our account that's just sitting there. It's getting like 1% interest. And I was like, oh, I can give you an 8% to 10% return on your money instead of just sitting there. And it's backed in a hard asset, in a property. And like I told them, worst case scenario, if I default and, don't flip the house and I lose it, you guys are going to be in second position. You're going to be a second lien holder on the property. and you'll own the property since you put 20% into it. So my grandparents were like, okay, yeah, it's if you can give us 8-10% return instead of the 1% we're getting, and they trusted me. So I guess the reason I'm bringing that up is I didn't know my grandparents would even be down or had money. You'll be amazed to see like how much people, have 20, 30, 40, even 100K just sitting in a bank because they don't know how to invest it. So what I have been doing is on Facebook and on my social media accounts, I'll tell people, hey, I've already raised 80%, 85%, because that sounds like you're pretty competent, right? Like, hey, this guy's already raised money. He just needs a little bit more. And, I'd love to make some return on my money because I don't know how to invest it. So make posts on social media, talk to people, tell people that you invest in real estate, and you'll be amazed at what people will come out and say, hey, I got 10K, I got 20K, and 10K, that might not sound like a lot to you guys for bringing money to buy a deal, but that could cover the repairs on the property. That could go pretty far. So does that kind of answer your question?
No, it definitely does. It definitely does. I appreciate that, man.
And by the way, for everyone here, if you're new, it is kind of scary to talk to people. I remember when I first started this business a couple years ago, I didn't want to tell people I was a real estate investor because I didn't think I was that good. I didn't want people to like question me about it or be like, man, you're investing, like you don't know anything about real estate. But I waited like 2 or 3 years until I was really good and felt confident to talk about what I was doing. I think that's a bad idea. I think you guys now need to talk to people and tell people you invest, you're a fix and flipper, you're even a wholesaler. Talk to people about what you do and let people know, because people want to help you succeed. So this goes hand in hand with raising private money. No one's going to offer you 10 or 50, $60,000 if you aren't putting it out there that you invest. So if you're new, start talking about it. That's just how you're going to get money. That's how you're going to get, people to help you out. So that would be my challenge to you, Devin, and anybody else that wants to raise money. Tell people what you do. Even if you're brand new, who cares? So, all right, guys. Devin, do you have any more questions about that or anything else I can answer?
Nothing off the top of my brain right now.
Okay. And did everyone get the link I sent for my Facebook in the chat? You can click on that, friend request me, DM me. If you want that list of hard money lenders, message me and I'll email it to you, or I'll figure out a way to get it to you. Okay. Did everyone get it? You want to give me a thumbs up in there or say, yeah, you did? I see that I delivered it, but I just want to make sure. Okay, cool. All right. Let's open the floor. I mean, if you guys have a question, just type your question in and then I'll call on you and then you can unmute yourself. And again, if there's no questions, we can review some deals that you guys have. I can help you underwrite some of your stuff. And if there's nothing that you guys, if you don't have any deals, if you don't have any questions, you can ask me to show you how to, I can give you a free example of, how to call an agent. I don't know. I'll just here to help you out. All right. So who we got?
Hey, this is Pedro. How's it going?
Pedro, what's going on, man?
I'm from Seattle.
Good old Seattle, huh?
Oh yeah, it's hot out here.
Oh, it's hopping? That's what I like to hear, man.
It's hopping out here. Yeah. We've kind of backed out of the Seattle market because it's super competitive. But dude,
I feel like every major metro is hopping right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not like we haven't had the opportunities, but we just kind of, pulled back a little bit to kind of evaluate what's going on, just so we don't get ourselves into a hairy situation. Yeah, so yeah. I have a property. I've been fortunate to, I don't know, I've been finding some deals. I haven't closed on anything in the recent, I've only flipped houses. So now I'm getting more into wholesaling. So okay. I have a property right now that I'm looking at out of state. I'm doing now, like I'm looking at other places and I have some investors in these areas. So right now I have a lead and it's in Oklahoma. It was a pre-foreclosure, but seems like she came out of it. Anyways, she has about $58,000. She had agreed originally to selling me the property at 80 grand. The ARV on the property is about 200K.
Wow.
Maybe a little, yeah, it's pretty good. But the brother stepped in. The brother has stage 4 cancer. He stepped in and he's like, what kind of nonsense is this? The reason I was comfortable at 80K is because there was potential for an outside loan with 30K.
Mm-hmm.
So that would have made me at 110. So I said, hey, listen, I'll take on the loan. I can take it on at 80 grand and take on all the legal stuff, situations, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So then I finally was like, okay, well, how about this? I'll just do 110. They were like, no, it needs to be at 130. The lady's packed, her house is packed and ready to go.
Okay.
But the brother got back to me, sent me title. Title in the area has been they ran title in September.
Okay.
Just to kind of figure out what's going on because there was a foreclosure. Her motivation is she wants to move closer to her brother because he seems to be dying. And she wants to get out of the house. It was a divorce situation years ago. She's ready to move on. She's literally packed and ready to go.
Okay.
Now, so the situation, this is where it gets tricky. Apparently, they don't know the husband, ex-husband, borrowed against the property years and years ago. You can see it on the title, but it doesn't say how much is owed. Okay. So their anticipation is, well, I need to be around 130 for the property. They were like, well, 130, 140. So she walks away with like 5 to 10 grand. I said, that's fair enough, but I can't do 130. That's just no money in it for me to,
You want me to look at the deal? Do you want to give me the address and I can like dissect it or?
Sure.
Okay. Message in the group chat, the address, and I'll copy and paste it.
Okay.
No one steal this. I'm just kidding. No, nobody would do that. Not in the Jerry Norton inner circle. We're family, right, guys?
It's okay. I have a couple more deals going on out there right now that I've got some leads. It's pretty cool.
Dude, I love it. How are you getting most of your leads right now?
So this lead right here, I got it within first 40 to 50 phone calls. I'm just cold calling.
Dude, cold calling is huge. I mean, we have 6 cold callers from Egypt and it gets us a lot of leads. So cold calling works.
I want to make sure that I can close on properties before I start spending money on marketing. So I'm just like, you know what? I'll go the cold calling route.
Okay.
Yep. There she is.
So I'd like to use Zillow, but it seems like it ain't working. So let's see. We try right here. Is that how you spell it?
Q. Sorry, there's a instead of a G, Q.
Instead of a G, it's a Q. Oh.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay, let's see if we can find it. Okay, Zillow's tripping out. If you guys don't have PropStream, you need to get it. PropStream is huge.
That's actually how I found this lead.
Okay. So I have something that's called REI Automator. It's like a white label of PropStream. It's like the exact same thing. It is the same thing. It's just named different. Let's see what PropStream has to say. I just want to look at the ARV.
Yep. So my original ARV was 185, but there are some houses, and based on the location, because I have an investor there he's bought 7 houses since August. And so one just sold about 200 square feet smaller for 180. Like terrible LVP, painted cabinets, and it was about 300 square feet smaller, same style of house.
Really?
Same exact house, but just smaller and a smaller lot.
Tulsa, and sweet.
It's in Broken Arrow, yeah.
Cool. Right outside
Tulsa County, yep.
So for everyone that's new to PropStream, this is how I run my comps. I'm sure you do this as well. I just go to details. I look at this number. I don't hold that much weight on this number because it's wrong a lot. So you go to MLS details. Sorry, not MLS details, comparables. And then what it will do is it will pull like homes that are similar that have been sold within the last year. You can change this. But let's look. I usually like to, in areas that I'm not very familiar with, I like to see what's sold like really close. So this will show you the house right at the top. Yours is let's see. I don't know. It's not going. Okay. Yours is a 3-2. And let's see. I don't know why it's there it is. Okay. So one sold for 177 and this one was a 3-2 square footage, pretty comparable. 188. That's the one you're talking about, right?
I'm not
comparing it with.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I use that as one of my comparables. Yes.
Okay. So cool thing about, go ahead.
Yeah. So exactly. I clicked on the images and some of these houses in the area, like, come on, look at that. That sold for 188. It's not, it's a gut job. Like,
yeah, this house sucks, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying, hey, if I can get this thing, so you're thinking 200 plus because this thing.
Exactly.
Keep in mind, I wouldn't. My original thought is these pictures can't be accurate, right? Like I'm like, there's no way that they sold this thing for 188 that it's not finished. These might be older pictures. Not saying they are, but it's a thought I just had. Do you think that could possibly be true? They're pulling from like old data.
To be honest with you, I would say the market there is steady, affordable living, but the things like this are selling.
So what I would do just real quick is Zillow or Redfin, since it looks like this was listed. Sorry, I can't look at Zillow. Redfin or Realtor usually have more updated pictures. So let's see. Right. Let's see if they did. Because if not, then yeah, then this house could potentially be worth 200 plus. So let's see. No, yeah, look at that. And it sold on July 6th, right? So pretty recently. Okay. I got it.
So that's where I came in at 185 as my safety. Like, I think I can get definitely 185, but I think with a nice remodel design, you know, I'm at like 25K on the remodel. Mm-hmm. Based on the actual house. I have a builder out there and he already told me it'd be about 25 grand. He said 20. So I was like, okay, 25. Yeah.
I think you're safe at 185. I think as the resale value, I think you're real safe. So that's cool.
Yeah, and I think with I think it could go up to 200, but I'm safe at 185. Exactly.
Okay. So I don't know if you've come to your point, but it sounds like there's just a big mess with title, and they're just trying to have you. So what's your question? How can I help you out?
All right. So what I was thinking is, if she wants 130, I would hold the property, no problem. Mm-hmm. As a long-term rental. I would put 20 grand in it of my own money. So I was thinking about doing like a subject to, like, say, hey, I'll take over the loan. My concern is like, I would take over the loan at 130 because it would I would bring in about the other house that just sold, that was the exact same house, sold for 180, but smaller.
Okay.
And not as nice a neighborhood. Is renting for $1,850. So a mortgage on that property is about $700. This one right here,
right?
With the total amount of loan, $700-800.
Yeah, so you can definitely take over a payment and cash flow.
Exactly. So that's what I was thinking about. I was like, you know what? It's not a dead lead. It's just she's got a situation on the other side where there's that bankruptcy.
Let me tell you something. And for everybody on here that's new, we get paid for the problems we solve. The bigger the problem, the more we get paid, right? If someone doesn't really have a problem, they just throw it on the MLS and they don't need you. So what you got right here is a problem. And if you figure it out, you're going to make some money, right?
Right.
So I think it's a great idea if you can cover her payments. You just have to make sure, didn't you say her ex-husband borrowed some money against it and no one's sure exactly how much he did?
So I have the title. It said he borrowed. It does show how much he borrowed. It just doesn't show how much was paid off.
Okay. Well, does that kill your deal or is it still fine?
I just don't fully. So here's my hunch. I think her brother is kind of like, we're playing tug of war a little bit right now. He's like, oh no, you come in with these ridiculous prices at 110, you got to be at 130. I'm like, well, I'm actually not that far. We're not that far off. 110 and 130 is pretty in the ballpark. And he's like, well, that 110 is just not going to happen, blah, blah. So, so the thing is like, I said, okay, well, why don't I just take over your loan and assume all the money against the property? And so I just don't know like what I'm gonna run into. That's my hurdle. Like, it's not straightforward for me. Like, if I knew she only owed 60 grand, then I'd be like, oh, easy. But it's the unknown on the other side of what's owed is what's my concern.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
in the bankruptcy.
Yeah, it's not very clear cut, and you don't want to lose the house if like any of those the money that's owed is like called due, right?
Exactly.
And so very difficult. I mean, this would be a lot easier if you were able to just buy it outright and take care of all the liens and stuff.
Right.
It really depends what you want to do. Sometimes when I'm dealing with a seller that thinks he knows a lot and he's got a big problem like this, I play hardball. I'm like, look, man, this is where I need to be. There's a lot of issues with this property. Even if you do accept my offer 110, this is not the end. We're gonna have to work together, and it's gonna be a lot of work. So we can work together or we cannot, but 110 is the most I can do. And just like draw the line in the sand and just be like, you want it or not. But
yeah,
you can't want the deal more than the seller, because then they feel like they're in the driver's seat, right?
Exactly.
So I would, if I were you, because this is going to be a headache for you, and the amount of time that you're doing this, you could go get a deal of a grandma that just wants to move to a retirement home, and it's easy.
Dude, exactly. That was actually, you answered my next question was when is it like, when you call it quits, when it's just a big distraction? Because, it's just taking up, how it is. You're mentally like all hung up on the deal. Like, all right, we're going to make it happen. So when do you call it quits?
I would call it quits when you feel like it's interrupting or taking away from other opportunities. And I don't know, because I don't know your daily schedule and how much time you're putting into this. But for me, just from talking with you and the amount of opportunities we have in my company, like right now we have like 220 leads this week, like from Christmas, that we need to get to. I don't have time to talk to your guy. I'm busy. Yeah. So
exactly.
If you got this one lead and you don't want to make calls because you're lazy and you don't want to reach out to more people, spend the rest of your time. This might work, might not work, but you got to keep going. Like this industry, you got to help people. That's what we do. We solve problems, but you also got to help people who want your help, right? This guy thinks he can get more. Go ahead and get more. I'll be ready. I'll come back when you're ready to accept my offer at 110. And you can even say to him, hey, look, this is my offer now. It might be less in the future. I mean, you don't know how the market's going to react with all the COVID going on again, whatever you want to say, but sure. You just got to be in charge, and you're the one with the money. They need you, right? So
exactly. Thanks, man.
That's my opinion.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Do you have anything else? Do you want to?
No, that's good advice. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I agree.
Sure.
Get hung up on it. Appreciate it.
Of course. Yeah. I think I heard somebody.
Hey, I got a question. Kind of the same thing. I got a current deal. I can send you the property too if you want.
Let's do it, man. I'm just here to help you guys out, and hopefully people that are listening find value to it. So write your question. Let's try to, I'll answer your question, but let's try to just type in your question so people don't just jump in, because I don't want to people that are writing in here not to be able to answer it. But I'll answer yours, and then we'll go to the chat and see what people wrote.
Okay.
But yeah, type in the property address, and then as I'm looking it up, as I'm looking it up, you can kind of tell me the situation.
Okay, I'm pulling it up now.
Okay. Yeah, I like what Lance said. He said, you're in the driver's seat. Looks like they already had it on the market and no one else could figure out the problem. So that is true. Lance, when I was looking at PropStream, it was on the market for, I think, like 600 days or something. So yeah, I think this brother just is he's smoking something. He's thinking he can get something crazy for it. So iPhone, what's your name? It just says iPhone on it.
Oh, Brandon.
Brandon? All right. Brandon.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look. This is Indianapolis. We've done some deals in Indianapolis. Nice. Is that where you're out of?
No, I'm in Colorado, and Indianapolis was the virtual market I chose.
Cool. Yeah, Indianapolis is good. So tell me the situation of this property while I'm looking it up.
So it's an elderly couple that they just moved in with their kids because their health isn't too well and they need help. They need help living.
Okay.
So it's listed on the market for 217. I've offered 170 before and they haven't taken it. But I recently reached back out and I offered 160 and the real estate agent was very enthusiastic about it. So I
Nice.
just got the text back that they're going to take 165.
Sweet. Okay. So what
And the
what are your
comps around the area?
Yeah, what are your numbers on it? What do you feel like the ARV is?
My numbers on Flipster were coming out to, I think it was 380 is what it was coming out to. 'Cause it's going to be a
380.
complete gut. Yeah.
Are you flipping it or are you going to wholesale it?
I'm going to wholesale.
Okay. So you know what's very difficult about Indianapolis and a lot of parts across the country, as I've wholesaled nationwide, is this area right here. It can't. I don't want to say can't, but it's difficult to comp interesting properties like this to other properties that are here on this side of the highway or down here. Because just real quick, you can see that this is in an area that's got superior carpet installation. It looks like it's Liberty Books. Like, would you want to live right next to like a industrial place? Probably not. So what's probably happened is this property, people aren't liking the location. So now that ecstatic agent is like happy about your offer because the offers they're getting have been really bad.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to rain on your parade. I'm just saying.
No, I appreciate it.
It is good to acknowledge that like the location, it's all about location in real estate. And really there's the only way to know if you have a deal, in my opinion, is you run your numbers, you feel good about it, and then you send it out and see if anybody wants it by trying to sell it. But I would say 380. Well, let's look at this one. This one's sold right next door. Well, it didn't even sell.
The other hard thing on Flipster, there weren't a whole lot of comps around the area. I just had to go with the closest ones.
Yeah, so let's look at this. The house next door, it says it's sold, but look, it says estimate. So that's something happened here. I don't know if that's when they rent it out or I have no idea. Well, I've seen this before, but I thought it meant they're renting it out. But let's actually put the address and see what the value of this house is. Because 380, I mean, just from looking at the quality of area, that sounds pretty high. Let's look at this. So this is the house next door. So this says 158 is the what the perceived value is of this home next to it that's sold. Let's see if we can see. Let's see if what it's sold for. Usually it tells you it sold May 26, 2021 for $55,000.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So you can usually see this data on what's it called? PropStream, Zillow, Realtor. You just have to look under because you can see that it according to PropStream, it was listed, but it gave a bad info.
Right.
But I went on here and saw that this house was sold on May 26th when it was listed 55,000. So this thing is thinking, this estimate is thinking it's increased to 158 since then. And I would say that's maybe 158 is the ARV. I mean, how is it going to go? It depends the condition they bought it in, if they've rehabbed it. But my opinion is that this area is crappy. Just from looking at the location, this house sold for 55 next door. You're not going to get 380 for this house. There's no way, unfortunately.
Okay.
So.
No, that's a good thing. I didn't think about looking at like a map like that.
Got to, man. I mean, it is hard to run comps when you don't like physically don't have the, well, not physically, but if you don't have the MLS access, if you just are using PropStream, Realtor, Flipster, Zillow, you got to look at maps. You got to look at areas. You got to you got to understand that in parts of the country, the right side of the highway might be a better area than the left side, right? The west versus the east. Like I know in Salt Lake City, where I'm from, the houses on the east side of the highway are all more expensive. It's just a nicer area mostly. And then the west side, it's a little cheaper. So when looking at comps, you got to say, okay, I don't know this area 100%, but these homes are selling for way more than this one. There must be something going on in this area. And what I do to educate myself more is I'll go on here if I don't know an area very well, and I'll look for houses that are listed near the one I have. Let's see. And let's say this one right here is really close to the one that we're talking that you have. I'll call this agent and I'll ask him, hey, I have a house that I'm thinking about buying. I would like you to relist it for me. If after I flip it, can I ask you some questions about the area and what you think it could resell for? The agents are supposedly the market experts in the area. So use them. If you don't know what the property is worth, call an agent and ask. And for this agent, for example, that is going to accept your offer at 165, talk to the agent and be like, hey, I'm thinking about flipping this thing. What do you think this house would be worth if I flipped it? And if the agent says 350, then maybe call 2 or 3 more agents and see what they think.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do, because he agreed on the number that 380, that the high 300s. But now that you're diving into it a little bit, I agree. I don't think it's going to suffer that much.
Yeah, and I'm not like the gospel. I don't like what I'm saying isn't like exact truth.
Right.
I'm just going off of what I see, and what I'm seeing is that the house next door sold for not a lot, and you usually can see. I like Zillow because it shows you what's for sale. I don't use Realtor.com too much, but let's see. Okay, this is where our house is right here. So this shows us 219. Oh, that's the one that you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one.
So let's look at other things that are for sale in the area. This one is at 125, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Yours is a 3-bedroom, 2 bath, 2000. Okay, so 125. All right. 234. I usually look at what's for sale so I can get a good idea. So there's a house for 75K. That looks like it's a lot. 98K. The house that sold next door for 55K, it could have completely been like a teardown, like the worst house in the world. So
yeah,
this house that you have right here might not be too bad. It might. Weren't you saying a gut job?
Yeah, it's gonna
okay.
need everything.
And everything on 2,000 square feet, that's like $80,000 plus.
Yeah.
Let's look at this one. 3-bedroom, 2 bath, for sale for 589. That's just completely different than, the stuff over here.
Yeah, that's the thing I've noticed of where in Indianapolis is like a block away. The houses are it's just completely different. It's crazy.
Yeah, so let's look at this one real quick. So this is a 2-bedroom, 8 for 157. You know what? I'm thinking just from looking at this data right here on what's sold and what's selling, your ARV probably is like 250. I don't think it's like in the 350s. I mean, the crazy thing about Indianapolis as well is if you go in there and do something like this and you do the outside, you put in nice, looks like it's a duplex, but if you make it super nice, it's possible that it could go for a lot, right? But
it might not sell too.
Yeah. But I would be careful just because this area again looks kind of crappy.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to the agent and do a little bit more research.
Yeah, my advice would be talk to the agent, talk to some other agents in the area that aren't biased, because he wants to sell this thing. He's going to say, yeah, you could do it. Talk to some other agents in the area. And then if I were you, I use this calculator. I know you guys use the one on Flipster, but this is one that I use to crunch my numbers. Let's say this thing is worth, let's say it's worth what did you say, 350?
Yeah, well, on Flipster it says 380.
Okay, let's just say 380. I don't think it's worth that, but let's say it is. You got it at 165, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's your right here's your hard money cost. So this is a flipper calculator. This is like what flippers use to see if it's a good deal. And then I just put my numbers in it. So a flipper, if they did a full gut job on this thing, it's going to take at least 5 to 6 months. They're going to resell it with a real estate agent and pay the commissions, the fees, the buyer and listing agent. And they're going to have to put, let's just say, in order to get to 380, they're going to have to put $100K into it. Let's see. Let me see if I did that right. 100,000. Nope, did it wrong. Okay, so if you were to flip this yourself, put 100K, took you 6 months, all the numbers, and you did it all correctly, you'd make 78,000 on this deal. I would say most people would do that, right? But let's say that the ARV is really 280. You lose money, right?
Right.
And then this is not including your wholesale fee. So if you want to make, 20,000,
Yeah.
10,005, you got to include that. So when you go and present your deal to sell it, you got to have these numbers figured out so you can go to the investor you're trying to wholesale it to and say, hey man, there's a potential profit of, $100,000 in here once you run your numbers. But
Right.
I think it's going to be tight. And 100,000 could be that could be not enough, if it's a 2,000 square feet gut job. But yeah, this that'd be my advice.
Okay. Yeah, I'll talk to him. We'll see. We'll figure it out.
All right. Let's go through
Thank
these
you.
chat. Yeah, I got you, man. Let's go through this chat real quick and let's see what we got. One of the questions from Devin Jackson, I'll answer this really quick. Do you know anything about commercial wholesaling? So I've never wholesaled a commercial deal. We've done multi-units, single family, land. I'm sure commercial is the same thing. Never done it. But yeah, to answer your question, May said, going to my first RIA meeting at the end of the month, is there verbiage I should avoid as a first timer or other things I should definitely say or ask for to get myself out there? May, are you still on the call?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so you're going to your first RIA meeting. You want to introduce yourself to people, shake some hands. Is that right?
Yes.
But you don't want to, I guess, say the wrong
I want to
thing.
look like a noob.
Hey, it's okay to be a noob because people will see that you're new and they'll want to help you. I mean, if I saw you in my RIA, I'd say, hey, I can help you. Because as a noob, I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but like investors like me, we capitalize on you guys. Like you're gonna do the grunt work. You're going to bring me a deal and you're going to say, hey, Nate, I can't find a buyer for this deal. And I'm going to say, hey, I can help you sell it. Let's split the profit 50-50. I JV with a lot of people. So you telling people, hey, I need help. I'm new. This is what I can bring to the table is totally fine. So I would go to that meeting and I would say, hey, I'm brand new to wholesaling investing, but I got a lot of drive. I'm really determined and I'll call. And then people would say, oh, that's great. Yeah, here's my number. If you find something, let me know. And they're going to try and work with you. I mean, that's just, so yeah, don't be ashamed or thinking being a noob is good. I work with a lot of noobs, so that's good.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, no problem. All right. So Brian said, I've primarily been looking for on-market deals so far, but want to get into off-market as well. I'm learning about ringless voicemail, SMS, say that are illegal unless people contact you. Have you ever run into trouble with doing this or trouble? Okay. All right. Brian, are you available? You want to chat about this question?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
Okay. So you're primarily been doing on-market, making offers to agents. And now you're like, okay, let me try and get into off-market marketing, right?
Yeah, definitely. Just because on market, I mean, it's in so low inventory too. So I'm not getting as many deals or as many even leads or people to talk to as I'd like in my market. So I wanted to kind of expand.
Yeah, man, I will tell you this, texting, according to your question right there, SMS, cold calling, It's all it's not above board the way we do it as wholesalers, right? Like we're just texting a list or we're cold calling someone that didn't opt in. Like that's the risk you take if you go into that type of marketing. That someone could hire a lawyer and just come after you, and you could pay like a fine of $20,000. Like that's the risk people are taking to get deals. Now, there's other marketing channels that wouldn't cost you, a lawsuit if someone came after you. You can do direct mail. No one's going to sue you for sending them a letter. You can do bandit signs. What else can you do? There's just so many things. You can run a pay-per-click campaign. You can do Facebook ads. You can network, do pocket listings, network with attorneys. But the people that do SMS, RVM, they calculate the risk and they're like, hey, that's just what it takes to get a deal off market. And that's the channel I've decided. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and be like, oh, you're good. There's TCPA compliant rules. And if you don't follow them, you run the risk. We run the risk in my company. We have 6 cold callers. We text. We do not RVM. We've RVM'd in the past. It's so for us. We haven't really figured it out. But yeah, we've done every marketing channel. We actually have a commercial that's launching this month. No one's going to sue you for a commercial. So there's a lot of ways to do it. You just got to choose. Pick your poison, man. With marketing, everything works if you do enough of it. So it's volume. It's a volume game.
And have you ever, like you said, I guess it's not legal. Have you ever run into problems personally or like in your business? Obviously you do a much larger volume than me. Have you ever run into any problems with SMS or ringless voicemail or anything like that?
So I think one time we had someone that said like, hey, if you don't stop texting me, I'm going to get my attorney on you guys or something. And we just didn't respond. And I think in these SMS platforms, if you have a number that's texting and they find that number and they're like upset about you texting, you can actually delete that number or like cancel it so they can't reach it anymore. But I have not personally been sued or had any issues with that.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
You got it. All right. May said use PropStream on top of Flipster. May, I use everything. I have multiple softwares. I think Flipster is great. I use PropStream. I use it all. So it's really up to you. Same question as May. Doesn't Flipster already do the comparables for us? About Flipster, I don't really know the intricacies or in the depth part of Flipster, but I know that I check multiple resources to make sure I am getting the right information. I don't just go to Zillow and just trust Zillow, right? I'll go to Realtor, I'll go to Flipster, I'll go to PropStream, just because they're all just pulling data, and I want to kind of dive a little bit deeper. If I make like a really quick offer to someone, I just look at the Zillow estimate or Flipster and just quickly just offer them like 80-70% of that number. But if I want to dive into it, I look at multiple platforms. Okay. I have a question about comping multifamily properties. All right. Sabrina, is that how you say your name? Are you still on here?
I am.
All right. What's your question?
Okay. So I have been getting quite a few deals, offers or listings from agents with multifamily. But I don't feel quite comfortable in terms of comping the properties because it's a little bit different from single family. Flipster doesn't help with that. That's primary single family. So I just really wanted to know what should I be looking at. I know it has to do with the income and so on and so forth, but I just wanted to see could I get somewhat of a streamlined strategy.
So for me, what I do is I go on Zillow or PropStream. I don't know if Flipster can do it, but I look at what other multi-units and the same units, number of units have been selling in the last 2 years, just to kind of get an idea of what people are buying them for.
Okay.
And that's what I do. I'll just look at other multi-units. So if you go to Zillow, there's actually a tab or like somewhere you can check, and it will just pull up the multi-units that have sold in the area. Have you done that?
No, I didn't know to do that. I've done that for the single family. And I used, well, not necessarily Redfin. I've used that one, but I haven't done that with Zillow.
Okay, let me see if I can show you how to do it. I think Zillow's down right now for some reason. Okay, it's not. This is a flip we're doing right now, by the way, guys. It's pretty cool. We're actually not even flipping it. We bought it as is and listed it as is, and we got a above price. So you don't even need to be flipping necessarily in this market. You just need to buy stuff and list it. But let me show you. Is it Sabrina or Sabrina?
It's Sabrina.
Okay, Sabrina. So look at this right here. Let's just say your property's here in Salt Lake where mine is. If I go to here to townhomes, if I'm just trying to comp it with multifamily, I'll go to multifamily right here and I'll see what multifamily is selling. So let's say yours is a duplex. I'll click on this. This seems to be a multifamily. This is a new construction. And it looks like this is a home boast, large concept, blah, blah, blah. This looks like it's probably just going to be one for sale, just because that's how expensive stuff is out here. But you would look at what's selling in the area. And if you can't find a good duplex or multi-unit, you can go to sold. You can go here to the last, let's say the last 12 months to check. And you can see in Utah, there's not a lot of multifamily that's been selling. People are keeping their multi-units apparently.
Okay.
And then you usually can see in Utah, it's a non-disclosure state. So you need the MLS, but you can usually see what it was listed for. So this was listed for 500,000. You can assume that it's sold a month later, that it's sold for above or at 500,000. So you could say, okay, a duplex this size is selling for, 250, 270 a unit aside, right? So that's how you would comp it. So if you had a similar duplex, square footage, bedrooms, you would say each unit in this area is selling, and this is probably already done nice, is selling for around 250, 270 a unit.
Okay, so now, and you tell me whether or not this is right or wrong, but one thing that I also heard is that the annual income or whatever they're asking for the property should somewhat equal out to 10% of the 10% of whatever their asking price is should equal out to the annual income for that property. Is that right? Or
It would be right if all markets were created equal. So in Utah, properties are very expensive right now. So you can't get it's called the 10% rule that you're asking me about. Like it should it equal, the annual income should equal 10. I think it's 1% or 10%. I can't remember of the purchase price, right?
Sorry, 1%. I think it is.
Yeah, it's 1%. So in Utah, good luck getting that just because it's too expensive. If you rent out your place for $1,000 a month and times 12, that's $12,000. You would have to be able to buy the property for $120,000. This is not going to go for 120. You're not going to be getting that 1% rule, right?
Right.
You would be able to get that maybe in Missouri, Midwest, Alabama, but in California, Texas sometimes, Salt Lake, in these Colorado, in these higher price areas, good luck. Some people are getting like 4% return on their investment, 3% in these more expensive areas. So did that answer your question?
It did. Thank you so much.
Of course. All right, guys. I actually got a call. I got to be on with a seller in like 2 minutes. So let me see if I can answer one last question really quick. Yeah, good advice. Reverse mortgage, maybe. Let's say typically.
I actually just wanted to know about the legitimacy of the hard money lender real quick, if you have a second.
Which hard money lender? The one that the list that I would give you?
Oh, no. Like more so like any hard money lender. Like, how do you know like if they're legit?
How do you know if a hard money lender is legit? That's a solid question. The ones that we've used, we've gotten usually referred to by other wholesalers that have used them. So we've just kind of trusted them. But I've never really dived deep with the hard money lender to be like, how can I tell if you're serious? I've never done that because I know who I'm using. Maybe, shoot, that's a great question. I'd probably recommend not using people that like don't, well, if they don't know what wholesaling is, you definitely don't want to use them. But maybe ask to see their website or other properties they've lent on, or ask them if you can talk to some other wholesalers that they've helped, so you can get see if they're legit. That's what I would do. Yeah, because also the title company you're using will be able to tell you whether or not this hard money lender knows what he's doing, because the title company communicates with the hard money lender. So if you've opened up title and you're like, hey, I'm thinking about using this hard money lender, you don't have to pay that hard money lender any money until the deal closes, right? Because then the 2 points get charged at close. So two recommendations: ask if you feel like they're shady. They probably are, but ask them if you can talk to any other wholesalers they've worked with or see any properties that they've lent on. Number two, if you do decide to use them, ask the title company how they're doing. Are they communicating well? And if not, go with somebody else. Ed Cardenas said, never give them money directly. I've never given a hard money lender any money directly until after close, right? If they close and it's gone through, then yes, you can pay their business, like the monthly payments of hard money interest if you need to.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, for sure. I hope everyone felt like this week's call was helpful. And again, if you guys need anything from me, I'm a resource for you guys that Jerry's kindly let me be in on these calls. Friend request me on Facebook. I'll send you guys a list if you want. DM me. I also have like a wholesaling mastermind group that I'm trying to grow and help people, where I answer questions. But yeah, I want you guys to have a great day. Let's go get some deals. Remember, if you want to be successful in this business, you got to make a lot of offers. So if you're sitting at the end of the day or end of the week or month and you're like, I'm not doing good in this business, I haven't gotten any deals. Have you made any offers? You need to at least make 5 offers a day if you want to be successful. I mean, my company, we're making like 50 to 100. 50 a day. 100 would be amazing, but we don't always hit that. So anyway, hope this call was good, guys. And I'll be on next week. Jerry said that I'll be on here for the next 2 weeks. He's asked me to do it because I think he's busy. So I'll see you guys next week and talk to you guys later.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.